the questions that the gentleman asked. At what level are we seeing the highest level of corporal punishment? So based on the research that we have done, the highest level of corporal punishment is actually at primary school level. And it is also because, one, the majority of our learners are at primary school. But also the trajectory is that they are being punished more in primary school because they are actually weaker at that. When a child is in secondary school, the power dynamics change. And so at primary school level, but I want to just put a caveat to what I'm saying, that we do not have many children undergoing what we call early childhood education, which is commonly known as nursery school. So it's because it's mainly in the hand of the private sector, so not all children go through this level. However, we know from anecdotal evidence that because this stage, which is really 3 to 6 years, is one of the most difficult stages in teaching children. So from what we are beginning to learn is actually that even at this level, children are experiencing high levels of corporal punishment. But based on the research, it's now at primary school level. The other question was, are we seeing change? I think that was the question. And I want to say that we are actually seeing some change. There is progress made. Over the years, I think the efforts are beginning to pay. There have been different initiatives. I would like to first of all mention, for example, that the Raising Voices has reached out to now thousands of schools in Uganda with something we call the Good Schools Toolkit. And we have actually tested this kit, which tries to enforce a positive school environment for children. And the research that we have done has actually shown that in the schools where we have implemented this toolkit, violence has reduced by up to almost 42%. So there is a reduction, but that is still a drop in the ocean. In the majority of the schools, this is still happening. But also, there is now a shift. The more we are talking about less use of corporal punishment, we are also seeing a shift towards more of emotional abuse. So children are now suffering more psychological, emotional abuse, which relates to the things that are being said to them, the things that are being done to them that are not necessarily the use of physical punishment, but actually also affect their confidence, their self-esteem, and their general psychosocial well-being. So that is also something that is happening. And then maybe I know that Yvonne is going to speak more to this, but I wanted to also say something about the question around, aren't we putting too much pressure on the teachers? And I think it's a valid question because I think we are speaking specifically about the issue of corporal punishments and positive discipline, but we have to actually look at it within the whole systems framework. Because as you rightly said, and I think the issue of mental health and the well-being of these teachers and the displacement of aggression on children and the structures that are in place to support these teachers, it's a broader conversation actually that we need to, as we are advocating and trying to change mindset, we also have to talk about those structural issues and how do we create environments where teachers, they themselves can go and offload or be helped with their own traumas, with their own mental health challenges, and which is really a discussion to have broadly even with the Ministry of Education. But I'll invite Yvonne to add something to this.